Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Llama here, and today we'll be talking about healthcare REITs. So let us first look at the different kinds of properties you can get exposure to by investing into Singapore-based healthcare REITs. So the first kind is actually the hospital, and this is an example of a hospital by First REIT, and it's called the Siloam, Bali. And interestingly, by investing to Singapore-based healthcare REITs, you'll also get exposure to nursing homes. So the more popular one is actually Japan nursing homes. Another kind of entity that get exposure to Japan nursing homes is actually by investing to SPH. Okay, and this is an example of a Singapore nursing home owned by First REIT, and this is the Mount Elizabeth Hospital by Parkway Life REIT. So over here you can see that the kind of exposure we are getting by investing into healthcare REITs is pretty simple. It's just nursing homes, medical centers and hospital. But I wish to extrapolate from here and talk about the biotech and medical tech exposure also, because healthcare is more than just providing the clinical service and the hospital services. So over here you can see that the exposure we're getting by investing into Singapore-based healthcare REITs is just hospitals, medical centers and also nursing homes. But I just wish to extrapolate on the idea of investing to healthcare to investing also into biotech and having the medical tech exposure. And we can get this by looking at the industrial REITs. If not, the main healthcare REITs listed in Singapore is just Parkway Life REIT and First REIT. I have actually included SPH REIT over here because they have the medical suites or the clinics that let you do certain services like a LASIK and dental services in Paragon. So they have this minimal exposure to the medical suites, and it forms a kind of healthcare exposure also. And this is why I listed SPH REIT over here. So let's move on to the unique features of healthcare REITs. So the first unique feature is actually the long-term leases nature of healthcare REITs. So mainly they operate by this master lease structure, where the master lessee will lease the property and then sublease to the operators. So a good example is actually First REIT, which own in the Indonesia hospital properties. They then lease the hospital properties to the master lessee, or what we know as Lippo Karawaci Group. Hopefully I've pronounced this correctly. And then Lippo Karawaci would then sublease these hospitals to the operator, which is the Siloam brand of hospitals in Indonesia. And over here you see the example of Parkway Life REIT, where they are very actively acquiring Japanese nursing homes, okay, or what they term as healthcare properties over here. And you can see these long-term 20-year master lease agreements. Okay, this can be good for investors because this is actually a form of guarantee or promise to Parkway Life REIT, where the rentals for the next 20 years are technically secured, okay, via these agreements. And as healthcare is a price inelastic product or service, we can see that the tenants can be rather resilient, because no matter at what kind of economic periods, be it an economic boom or economic bust periods, healthcare is still a necessity for all the people, okay, in this world.
Nice.
Another unique feature of healthcare REITs in Singapore is that they have focused or just only a few tenants. So looking at this example from Parkway Life REIT, where I got it from the investor presentation slides, you can see that the Singapore portfolio makes up about 50% of the total portfolio in terms of revenue. So let's dive into what makes up the Singapore portfolio. So in Singapore, Parkway Life REIT actually owns these three hospitals: Gleneagles, Mount Elizabeth and Parkway East Hospital. And they are three operated by this Parkway Hospitals entity, okay? And this Parkway Hospitals actually is the master lessee of these properties from Parkway Life REIT. So from this example, we can see that a single entity is actually in charge of 58.5% of the total gross revenue of Parkway Life REIT. Okay, so in a way, you can see that the tenancy for Parkway Life REIT is indeed rather focused or concentrated with a single tenant. Okay. However, what Parkway Life REIT is doing right now is to continuously acquire nursing homes in Japan in a bid to diversify away from this Singapore portfolio. And you can see the Japan portfolio in the past 10 years, since 2009, when they first started acquiring nursing homes, it has been growing and is now reaching that of Singapore portfolio soon. And among the nursing home operators, they actually diversified in terms of tenancy, and you can see that this is a way Parkway Life REIT is diversifying away from just having a few tenants. I also wish to share this idea due to this COVID Black Swan event, and because of the limitations on traveling right now, it has also actually hit the Singapore medical tourism sector. As we all know, a lot of rich people around Southeast Asia actually travel to Singapore for medical treatment, and most of them actually relies on the private medical services, and these private medical services are largely based in these private hospitals in Singapore, which is owned by Parkway Life REIT. So in a way, I feel that this COVID will have some impact in the revenues of these private hospitals, because they lose the income from these overseas patients. Other than having the master lease structure, which is rather long term, you can see over here 15 plus 15 years, which makes up 30 years, healthcare REITs generally have this triple net lease structure also. So triple net lease means that the REIT will rent the property to the hospital operators, and then they'll receive the rental payments. However, all the other costs such as property tax, insurance, all the other operating expenses like the electricity bill, water bills, etc. will be borne by the hospital operator itself, which means the REIT only collects the rental payment and does not pay any other form of expenses. Okay, and most healthcare REITs also have favorable lease structure. Okay, we can see over here that the hospitals will pay a basic rent to Parkway Life REIT, and then will pay another variable additional sum according to the consumer price index in Singapore. Okay, so hopefully with a greater amount of inflation, then this REIT will also receive a higher amount of revenue. So in a way, the rental income from Parkway Life REIT from this Singapore portfolio is actually inflation hedged. However, when investing into healthcare REITs in Singapore, there is an issue where we have lack of choices. So we only have two listed healthcare REITs in Singapore. First, the Parkway Life REIT, second, the First REIT. So for Parkway Life REIT, it is a good REIT as we all know. However, the yield right now, as in June 2020, the dividend yield is only at a low 3.1 something percent. As for First REIT, they have issues in terms of tenancy, financial stability, and you can read up more on the LlamaFinance blog, where I recently described how both Lippo Karawasi, the master lessee, and also Siloam Hospital, the hospital operators of the properties of First REIT, are both financially unstable and not able to actually pay off the rental in the long term. So I feel that we can actually look to have this diversification and exposure to healthcare sector by investing into also US-based hospital REITs. And one of my favorite US hospital REITs is this Physicians Realty Trust, because they have one of the lowest gearing ratios as compared to other healthcare REITs based in United States, and their full portfolio of hospitals and not nursing homes. And they also have growing earnings for the past few years, and they too operate via this triple net lease structure also. And another solution to having this lack of choices is to invest into industrial REITs, because industrial REITs also have exposure to medical tech sector. While this is not exactly investing into hospitals or medical services, I feel that healthcare is still a growing industry which we can have exposure to, and we do this by investing into industrial REITs, which I'll show you later on. And interestingly, we do not only have to invest into hospitals or nursing homes, we can also look to invest into medical suites, which SPH REIT has a minimal amount of exposure to, because they have these medical suites in Paragon under the SPH REIT property portfolio, which I described previously. So as mentioned, when we want to have healthcare exposure in our REITs portfolio, we do not only have to rely on hospital or nursing home REITs, we can also invest into industrial REITs for this healthcare sector exposure. So this example on the top is from AIMS APAC REIT. You can see that by gross rental income, biotech and life sciences companies or businesses actually make up 9.3% of the rental income. And the bottom example is from Ascendus REIT. You can see that biomedical sciences actually makes up 11% of the monthly gross revenue for this REIT. The next mega trend we are investing on is actually this continuous growth in healthcare needs. As mentioned, healthcare is a service that is priced inelastic for its demand. So by 2030, the expenditure in healthcare industry is expected to triple from $17 billion in 2013 to $44 billion. So you can see that healthcare sector is a sector that has continuous growth regardless of the economic recessions or not. People still require healthcare services. We have come to the end of this video. Hopefully I have shared good insights to help you into investing into healthcare REITs in Singapore. Thank you for watching this video. Once again, I'm Mr. Llama. Please remember to like this video if you feel that this video has helped you, and share this video with friends who are interested into REITs investing. And also remember to subscribe to LlamaFinance for more future REITs video. Thank you.